Tropical-Storm-Fay dumps on Florida for fifth day. Tropical-Storm-Fay has continued its slow, wet trudge across the state, prompting more communities farther inland and on the state's Gulf Coast to brace for what could be more drenching rains. The very erratic storm has dumped more than 2 feet of rain along parts of Florida's low-lying central Atlantic coast. It is just the fourth storm to make landfall in Florida, with such strength 3 separate times, and the first in nearly 50 years. Before it crosses the panhandle of Florida by the weekend, it could bring even more rain, 30 inches or more, and climbing. Emergency officials plan to begin surveying damage along the coast Friday as the floodwaters were expected to slowly recede. The storm first made landfall in the Florida Keys earlier this week, then headed out over open water again before hitting a second time near Naples. Then it advanced slowly across the state, popped back out into the Atlantic Ocean, and struck again and again. Flooding was especially acute along Florida's Atlantic coast, from Port St. Lucie to Cape Canaveral, with water easily reaching depths of 5 feet and more in many neighborhoods. This is the worst I've absolutely ever seen it, said one resident after he was rescued by the National Guard from floodwaters at the doorstep of his mobile home. At 5 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time Friday, the storm center was located approximately 65 miles east-northeast of Cedar Key and moving west near 6 miles per hour, according to the National Hurricane Center. Its maximum sustained winds were near 50 miles per hour. Isolated tornadoes were possible in parts of northeastern Florida, southeastern Georgia, and southern South Carolina, the Hurricane Center has said. To the south, there were several drownings. Warning about alligators and poisonous snakes. In some flooded areas, residents were warned to keep watch for alligators, snakes, and other wildlife forced from their habitats and swimming in search of dry land. A number of alligators were captured in residential neighborhoods, and others were spotted. This storm has been hanging around and hanging around and hanging around. It just doesn't seem to want to go away. Nobody can really exactly remember anything like it ever before. Brevard County officials gave a preliminary damage estimate of at least $12 million in Melbourne, mostly from flooding, and at least $2.6 million from beach erosion, and those numbers will probably climb. A whole lot of flooding, a whole lot of rain with this storm, a very unusual storm. They call it a boomerang storm, or tropical storm, whatever that means. The outer bands of Fay continued to pour sporadic rains Thursday along the 100-mile Georgia coast. A tropical storm watch was posted for the Gulf Coast of Florida, just in case the storm emerges over water again In other words, nobody really knows where this storm is going or exactly what it's going to do. No. This is different. This is insane. Yes, this is quite different. And these are more signs that something else is going on with the weather, with the atmospheric conditions of the world. And it's called the pole shift has begun. The magnetic pole shift causes very extreme weather, very erratic weather, very strange and weird weather. And we're going to see more because the pole shift, magnetic pole shift, has just begun. And it will continue for a time longer. Because in 2012, well, there's a pole shift with the sun, magnetic pole shift in the sun and on the earth, both at the same time in 2012. Or I guess that's when it will be completed. That's my estimate. Yes. The magnetic pole shift has begun. And nobody really knows exactly how it goes because, well, it happened a long time ago. Many thousands and thousands of years ago. Something in the water. And nobody was around to see it or to record it or to even understand it. But now, with all the technology and all the television, the electronic means of communication that we have, we can understand it. It's different now. And there's a reason for the magnetic pole shift. A very good reason for it happening. Because the earth has been made sick by human beings. And it's calling out to God, the Creator, for help. And these are more signs of the end times, transition days. And there are many, many signs. And there will be more to come.